The purpose of this video is to show you how you can contribute to a GitHub repository when you're not a collaborator and you're not the owner. And so this is a repository that I own, so I need to go to a different one that I don't have any relationship to. So now I found my repository. It's the Global Population Dynamics database, and I want to show you how I can make changes. So first of all, I'm not going to have any permission to change the real copy of this, the master copy, so I need to make my own personal copy by clicking on fork here. So I click on fork and it takes a bit of time to copy all the files to my personal copy. Now that I've done that, there are a few different ways that I can make changes. So first, these files that are .md or .txt or .csv, I can edit directly. So now I can click on the pencil icon and I can make changes. If you forgot to first fork the repository, then you are probably going to be prompted at this point to make a fork. So I click there, and now I can start editing, and I can add some text. So I add my text, and now I'm finished making my change, so I commit it. And you might want to write a description of what you did there. So now you can see that my edit has occurred there. Now let's suppose that I want to upload one of my own files. So I'll go back out to the highest folder. And remember again that this is I'm in my own branch. It says it's been forked from the main repository. So I want to upload a file, so I click here. And I choose my file, Amy's document, off my desktop. I add it, and then I want to save this change. I can write something about it if I want. I commit the change. And now you see that Amy's document has been added. If you want to replace a file because you've done edits on it and it's now a better copy, you don't have to save things as like version 1, version 2, version 3. You can just use the same file name and overwrite the last copy. So I'm going to do an example where I have another file that has exactly the same name as this one, and I'm going to upload it and replace it. So I upload the file, choose my file. I have my own README document here. I'm going to commit the change. And now if I look on the README file, I guess this is the text that was in there. It didn't work. My example didn't work great, but as you can imagine, this isn't what originally was written there. These are my own changes. All right, so now I'm finished making my changes, adding my files and doing all my edits, and I want them to be added to the main repository. So what I need to do is submit a pull request. So I submit new pull request, and I create pull request. I kind of write some details about what you've done and why you think it should be included, and when I've finished that, I would click on create the pull request. At this point, I'm going to stop because I don't actually want to ruin this other person's repository. You might do this too. Sometimes we make branches and you want to eventually delete them. So in that case, what you need to do is get back into your own repository. So notice now the user is Bodiger Lab. It's not me. So I need to get out of here. And I need to get back to my own account somehow. And I want to delete this global population database stuff because this was just for testing purposes. So now you can see that the user is A. Herford. And I go to my settings up here. And this is for my repository that I forked, Global Population Dynamics Database. And I want to delete that fork. So I go all the way down to the bottom where it says delete this repository, and I click on this. and then I do global population database. I understand the consequences and I'm going to delete this repository. Now maybe you think that I'm deleting someone else's repository, but I'm not. I'm just deleting my own personal copy, so it's perfectly fine to click that. So now that I've removed my copy, I want to show you what happens if you forget to fork the repository first. So let's go back to the Bodager Lab Global Population Database. Now this is the Bodager Lab copy, and why don't I just upload some files? Uploads are just disabled. I can't do it because this is the main copy. This isn't my fork. So if you don't make a fork, this is what it's going to look like. So that was my quick introduction to how to contribute to the GitHub. Thank you.